Here's one of the latest interviews from Rock and Metal Revival. If you want to hear the whole show, go to rmrshow.com. There's one of my favorite tunes from Rainbow, man. All Night Long, right here on Rock and Metal Revival. And dude, you know what a huge Rainbow fan I am.
Oh yeah, for sure. Me too.
And you're a big Michael Schenker fan. Everybody knows that. And we have the voice with us. This is really cool. We'd like to welcome Graham-Bonnet to Rock and Metal Revival. Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
Well, it's great, and it's great to hear that some new music coming from you, Grant. You got a new CD coming out November 4th called The Book.
Yeah. This is the new baby with a new band, and people like what I've done before. I think they're going to like this. As far as I can tell, it's been accepted very well by a lot of people throughout here and Japan and wherever else where people have heard a few tracks. I'm pretty proud of it, and I'm very proud of my new band.
Well, I see that you're going to be touring with over in Europe on this. Is there any thoughts of coming to the U.S. and maybe doing some shows here?
Well, we're trying to get more shows at home. It's been very, very difficult over the past 2 or 3 years. We've only been together, this particular unit, for like 2 years, more or less, and it's really hard to actually get something happening here because there's no interest in this kind of music. But overseas, as you know, we go to Russia, the UK, Japan. It's great there, but in America, it's really hard to find the right territory. We really have to get away from California, I think. California, you play the whiskey, in L.A., and that's about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't go much further than that, and that's not really what I'm looking at for what we're doing. I hope to do something a bit grander, but it's hard. It's very hard for everybody I know who is of my age group and from that era, from the 80s kind of, genre of music. It's we're all doing the same thing. We're just out on the road everywhere but here,
So I really like the new guitarist you've got. Where'd you find this guy? Because he has to play Yngwie stuff, and he has to play Schenker stuff. And
Well, what happened was how this band actually came to fruition was one night I was asked to jam with Bethany and Conrado and Tommy Ray Brown at the Whiskey, and I got up and sang a couple of songs, and I thought, this is good. I like this. This is great. A girl bass player. Oh yeah, fantastic. And a completely different thing to what I was used to doing. Doing the Alcatraz music on the road, and I had so much fun. I quit my band, so I quit Alcatraz, and I said to Bethany, how would you like to actually work with me and start writing some new tunes and form a new band? And so her and I started working on stuff, and then we're looking for a guitar player and a drummer, and I couldn't think of anyone. I thought of a lot of different guitar players. I spoke to a lot of people, and then she said, how about Conrado? I played with him for 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. Why don't we just ask Conrado to join us? And so then it was a trio, and there were the three of us, and we started getting the songs together. But he was very nervous of executing, the guitar solos exactly like Yngwie or exactly like Steve Vai or whoever it may be. And I said, no, just be yourself. Use some of their licks, of course, but, if it's a signature part of a song, but do your own thing, I remember Steve Vai was like that. When he joined the band, Alcatraz, with me singing, was... the first night, he was so nervous. He said, I can't go out there and play like Yngwie. I said, no, you play like Steve Vai. What the hell's up with you? So I've been I don't know what it is. These guys, I just kind of find them, I guess.
Yeah, you're kind of like a magnet for guitar players.
I am, yes.
Really?
Sure. And usually drummers as well for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, but usually guitar players because they're usually writers themselves. And, I always work with a guitar player on, the arrangements or whatever.
So now, speaking of writing, now this CD is a double CD. One CD is all new material, and then the other one it's almost kind of like a greatest hits from your career.
Yeah.
When you sat down to write this new album, had you had most of these songs written, or were they all written with the new band?
No, I had most of them all together. I had probably, I don't know, maybe 9 or so. They were all ready to go, words and melody, etc., chords and shit. So they were ready to go. And then we worked, as we started to record, that's when the band stepped in and sort of said, I think you should do this here. And we sort of changed it around once I started singing stuff, because they thought some of the songs weren't dynamic enough or whatever it may be. Do this here, the drums should do this, basically arrangements, yeah.
Nice. So now, being 2016. It's a lot. The music business is a little bit different than in the 80s. I'd take it, right? As far as putting together your album and everything.
Yeah. Well, now you don't have to go to
sound happy about it though.
As you know.
Oh,
So as long as you got a computer, you're happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. A computer in a room with a microphone.
That's all you need.
A laptop.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, I mean, it works. It's great. But sometimes all this new technology is great, but sometimes some of the new technology takes longer to actually process and understand than the old way, like singing stuff over and over again until it's exactly, near enough right. Mm-hmm. Instead of doing that, you can, there's all that auto-tuning stuff, which I hate.
Oh, that's
all that.
Terrible.
Yeah. So, but, if it's one note flat somewhere, you go, you don't have to sing it again, but I want to. Let me do it again. But that's old school, because we would spend, back in the 80s, you spend a whole week on one song or something. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't exactly right, and you're not in great shape, you're tired, you're whatever, croaky, like any human being. You can't sing away for hours and hours on end and, not expect to keep your voice there, So the old way, to me, is kind of the better way. I prefer to do it again and again until I get it right. But it can be fixed, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
Well, right now, Graham, it seems like it's been a lot of music lovers are on the nostalgia bandwagon. I mean, we had a Rainbow reunion. Michael Schenker's back out on the road doing, his stuff. Have you ever thought about playing with any of your old band or, bandmates ever again?
No, not really, because I think everybody's grown up, and we're all much older now and have our careers sort of set in stone. I know Steve Vai has got his, I can't imagine being in a band with Steve Vai, or in fact any of the guys again, because they become like, guitar heroes or whatever it may be. But I would love for, like, if Cozy Powell was alive, I would love Cozy Powell, Richie Blackmore, Roger Glover, Don Airey, and I to do a Rainbow reunion. But if it was to be a real Rainbow reunion, it would have been with Ronnie Dio. But poor Ronnie died, and we thought, Bethany and I thought, well, they're going to put a Rainbow together, but it won't be of any sort of substance. And I think that's kind of what happened. It was a bit of a wimpy attempt at a Rainbow comeback. I don't mean to insult the guys or anything, but it wasn't really what I'd expect from a so-called Rainbow reunion. Mm-hmm. I'd imagine Don to be there and Roger, not necessarily me as the singer, but at least those two guys,
Exactly.
But hey, if Ingve called me up and said, "Do you want to do a show or two?" Of course I would. The guy was. I've known him for a long time. He was a 19-year-old kid when he joined my band.
Yeah,
and he's had a pretty good career.
Yeah, I saw you guys at Summerfest here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Back must have been summer '84.
Oh God, yeah.
And you guys just blew me away. But I was like, hey, the guitarist is just soloing over everything. It's like just a guitar, and I could. Did you get irritated with that at all?
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the reasons he kind of went in the end. It took a while for him. He didn't realize what he was doing.
Yeah.
He had no stage etiquette whatsoever.
No,
he would walk in front of me, being probably 5 inches or so taller than me, hiding me, and really through all the verses of songs where there's no guitar part, a rhythm part or whatever.
Yeah.
But he overplayed constantly, and everybody was just saying, "Ingve, you got to step back, man. You got to step back." Oh, but people want to see me. Yeah, they do want to see you. They think you're marvelous, but there's a time and a place for you to come in and do your bit.
Yeah.
Graham's singing, da-da-da-da-da. Jimmy's playing his keyboard solo. You don't play over that either. Whatever it may be,
Yeah.
But he wanted to prove himself, and he was showing off to the world, Look at me, I'm a great guitar player. And of course he is.
Yeah.
But he just didn't know where to place that, talent sometimes.
Yeah.
But he's got over that. He's a better man now, I think.
Yeah, he lets you breathe a little bit now, I guess. Because, I was like, holy cow, man, this guy is he won't quit his guitar solo. It's like an hour and a half guitar solo, and you singing over the top
I know,
of it.
man. It was hard work. I mean, I walked off a couple of times. Oh, Christ. Okay, play on your own. Let me just get off here. Yeah.
So you actually just did a show in Japan with Michael Schenker was there, Robin McCauley, Gary Barden. How was that? How was that?
It was great. It was marvelous, actually. I've done, let's see, probably about 3 shows with Michael now over the past year. And it's always been fantastic because I never played live with them, really. Yeah. And I never sung those songs live, and it was kind of cool to look across the stage and see Michael smiling back at me because I never played out like Robin did and, Gary. I wasn't there. I was gone. And it was a great reunion, I have to tell you. It really was. It's fantastic.
So now you said you'd really never played with Michael before. What happened on the Assault Attack tour?
Oh, nothing.
Sure.
You've heard the story, haven't you?
We've heard it from other people, but not from the guy who was there.
Yeah. I mean, that is basically what happened. I messed up. My jeans split, and I started using my penis as a stage prop and swearing at the audience.
Didn't go over well.
Tell them all to off. I was drunk as hell. And that was the end of my career with the MSG band, I can tell you. Because I had to run for it. I ran to my hotel, ran off stage, couldn't do a damn thing. All my words were crumpled up by the monitors being pushed forward by the audience.
Okay.
Because I had all these words of like 8 million songs I didn't know the words to because I had to learn some of the old songs as well.
Yeah.
And when that happened, that's when I started, get up. I told them to get back, and they started giving me the finger or whatever. And so I couldn't do it. I just walked off. I said, I can't do it. And they played the whole thing instrumentally, the whole show instrumentally. And I went back to the hotel, and then I heard from my manager the next day that I was fired. You better get out of there because they're going to kill you. Basically.
Wow.
So I was on the train back to London, then on the plane back to Los Angeles, and my career with the band was over, and quite rightly so. I was just a idiot. I mean, I really was.
That sucks, because that was such a great album. I loved that album.
Oh, me too.
Just brilliant.
But they were going to take me off.
Yeah.
Gary was going to re-sing everything, but what they did was take me down in the mix. They took a bit of the balls out of the vocal or whatever. They just took me back in the mix.
Well, let's get back to this new album, The Book. Now, it hit stores on November 4th, and now you're out playing right now in Europe with it, and it is a worldwide release, and is it available everywhere, Graham?
Yeah, as far as I know, yes. So you have to look out. Yeah, November 4th, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And and as I said, I think people will be, if they like anything I've done in the past, I think they'll like this, but it has a kind of a modern edge, if that's possible. So it has, the songs tell stories like I've always done. You know, there's always been a story behind the song, and it has all the kind of the melodies you know and love.
Yeah.
I've probably used a million times over, but upside down and sideways. But, I mean, they're very recognizable and very sing-alongable songs, some of them. Some of the choruses are a bit weird. I did some jazzy stuff on a couple of songs, but most of them have that you-know-it straight-away feel about it, you know? Like Since You've Been Gone, for instance. You know, people know what it is, or All Night Long, you know, those two things. They can sing along. And I think some of these songs are like that, even though I try to avoid that sometimes. The guy said to me in the band, don't be too clever. Oh, okay. Make it simple. All right. Yeah, don't go too high there. No, keep it in the mid-range. Oh, all right. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was told where to go by these guys because it's the best time I've had, to be honest with you. These people are just the best.
That's great. Awesome. So are there any tracks on the new album you think could have benefited from maybe adding some cowbell?
Yeah! More cowbell. I think all of them. Yeah, what's a cowbell? A tambourine and cowbell, I think.
There you go. That would keep you busy, too.
Cool. Yeah, more cowbell. Fucking hell. What was that movie? Oh, it was Spinal Tap.
It was the Will Ferrell Saturday Night Live act.
Oh, that's right.
The Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah. I remember it. I just had a quick flash of him standing there. Yeah. Nice. I remember now, yeah.
Well, Graham...
yeah, so... what do you ask me apart from the cowbell?
Any songs on the album you think could have benefited from some?
Would have benefited. Well, as I said, I think all of them. But especially Where Were You? No, I'm just kidding. No, we had no cowbell. We didn't have the guy that could play one.
I know, they're tough. They're tough.
They're very difficult to play.
I can't get mine tuned in.
Yeah,
you've got a D. It's the temperature of the room. I mean, it's a hard instrument to play.
Yeah. Well, and you're speaking to Wisconsin, USA, so cowbell goes over huge here.
Oh, I'm sure it does. It's like the harmonica in England.
Yes.
Or the accordion in England, I should say.
Nice.
Oh, bloody hell.
Well, Graham, I just, as a fan and as a music lover, I just think it's a killer that you're still putting out albums, and we hope that you find some way to make it work here in the States. I know people in the Midwest love this type of music,
fans here.
And we hope you get over here. We love the new album. We love the new stuff.
Thank you.
And we're going to get on out of here. If people want to find out more information about you, Graham, is a great place online.
Yeah, you have to go to the Graham-Bonnet Band.
Okay.
Look for that, and you'll find... We've got we've got one video, I think, which we just did for a song called Into the Night, which is a 360 video. So you can, turn your phone around and look in any place you want to. Look at somebody's bum if you want to. Or
oh, really? You got a female bass player, too, right?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, you can move around, so you don't have to look at me.
We can look at her.
Thank God. You can look at Bethany playing the bass, or watch Mark playing drums, or Conrad playing guitar. It's incredible. And all it was is a little, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like a little ball, a little camera, and the guy just put the camera on the floor, and he said, do whatever you want. Just walk around, jump over the camera, blah, blah, blah. And he said then it's up to the viewer to make their own video in a way, to look at what they want to. So it's kind of cool.
I got to check that out.
We got to check that out.
Yeah, it's really good. We done it on the roof here in L.A., downtown.
Nice.
So it's got that Beatley vibe. So
nice.
Get back,
All right, well, we are honored to have you on the show.
Well,
and
thank you.
We hope people get out there and buy this CD. You know what? We always say buy music. And that's...
oh, Christ, yeah.
Please. Got to buy it.
Get out and buy it. And
we're going to... pre-ordering this.
Yeah. And Jerry thought we should play one of your Schenker songs, so we're going to play Assault Attack. And Graham-Bonnet, it has been an honor and a pleasure to have you on our show today.
Well, thank you very much. It's been great to actually talk about the new album, and I really appreciate what you're doing. It's fantastic.
To catch the whole show of Rock and Metal Revival, all you have to do is check it out on these affiliates. Mega Rock Radio's on Saturdays from 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and on Uncontrolled Noise Tuesdays at 1 a.m., Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern on UncontrolledNoise.com. And make sure that you leave them a message and tell them that you found Rock and Metal Revival on their stations.